Yeah, I wouldn't miss this for the world.
Hey guys, today we're going to take a couple minutes to talk about recovery. It's not how hard you can train, it's how hard you can train and recover and be ready to go the next time. You know, we talk about getting after it with bad intentions, right? But if you're just beating yourself up and not getting any better, that's not much good. So there's a couple ways you can kind of speed up recovery, allowing yourself to train a little more, a little harder. There's some restorative methods anybody can do. Now there's three I like to use that I can do on my own whenever I want. That's ice baths, contrast showers, and Epsom salt baths. Yeah. So the literature on this stuff, the research is kind of inconclusive. You can find some studies that say yes, there's benefits. There's some other stories that say no, it's all BS. The thing you need to do with these are experiment. Find what works for you, find out what makes you feel better. Now, if I am using these methods weekly while I'm training hard, I do find a huge difference, okay? So number one, ice baths. It's not something I do as often, but the theory is that immerging yourself into cold water flushes away toxins, inflammation, relaxes tight muscles. Then as your temperature starts to warm up again after, the increase in blood flow kind of jump starts the healing process. And it's really good for muscle breakdown and all those little micro tears you get during training. Like I said, the literature is kind of inconclusive on this stuff. You can find a lot that says yes, go do it. You can find a lot that says don't bother, you waste your time. I feel a lot better when I use ice baths. I use them about once every 2 weeks, unless I'm training really hard, like getting close to a meet, then I might use them once a week. Maybe even twice a week, really close to the meet. The thing about ice baths is you want to fully immerse yourself in the water. Fill your tub right up. Now I've got a little tip for making it a little less painful. Just run your faucet as cold as it can go. Get into cold water, like ease yourself into the cold water. Now you want about 20 pounds of ice, like 4 or 5 pound bags or 5 bags. Cut them open and have them on the side of your tub. And then once you're into the cold water, you can gradually add the ice, and then you want to sit in it to like anywhere from 8 to 15 minutes. There's a little less shock to the system than just diving into cold water. And the idea is, you know, the big benefit of ice baths is being fully submerged. So fill your tub up as much as you can, dump all the ice in there once you're in that cold water. Now, another key thing to remember if you do try ice baths is don't warm up too quickly. Don't get out of the ice bath and jump right in a warm shower. You don't want to do that. It won't feel that great if you do. So, you know, maybe just put on a sweatshirt when you get out or cover up in some blankets. If it's summertime, just go out in the fresh air when it's warm out, and then gradually work yourself into a warm shower and then a little hotter shower. Now, do not use ice baths before training. If anything is numb, you know, it's the signals your body's going to be sending your brain from a numb body part is going to be off, that sort of thing, and it really increases your chance for injury. So do not do an ice bath right before heavy training, or like if you're training in the morning, don't get an ice bath at night, the night before. I know you're not going to be numb still, but I do find it makes a difference. You want to do it a couple hours after training or immediately post-workout if you want, but not before training. Now, contrast showers, very similar to ice baths. I use contrast showers more often. It's much easier. You don't have to fool around with ice. All you need is a shower. I usually do these once a week. Now, like I said, if I'm training really hard, getting ready for a competition, hitting some PRs, I may use it up to 3 times a week. But usually once a week, I take a contrast shower. Contrast shower, same idea, flushes toxins and relaxes tight muscles. I do feel a lot better after I have a contrast shower. If I'm sore and stiff, it really makes a difference. So what you want to do with a contrast shower is pretty much get the water going in your shower as hot as you can stand it. Spend about a minute under the hot water, and then as cold as you could stand it for a minute. And you want to repeat this between 6 and 10 minutes or so. You can go up to 15, but I find 6 to 10 minutes usually does the trick. Just make sure your body is fully immersed in cold water and your entire body is cooled down. Then switch to the heat. Do the same thing with the heat. Everything is under the hot water. Everything is warm. And this really gets blood circulation going, blood flow, same idea as the ice baths. Now, Epsom salts. This is probably the most controversial one of the restorative methods that are often used. The theory is that the magnesium in the Epsom salt flushes away toxins as well and relaxes tight muscles. Now, that isn't exactly proven. I know Epsom salts is the one I use the most because it's the easiest to do. You know, I work outside in the wintertime here, so I don't really want to have contrast showers. I do, but you hate to do it when you're working outside in the cold all day. Or same thing in the summertime, it's really hot, you don't want to have a contrast shower. Epsom salt baths are nice and relaxing. You just sit in the tub, you can light candles or whatever if you're into that. And maybe the research isn't there on the Epsom salts, but just getting in a warm bath really feels good and really helps relax tight muscles. So I use Epsom salt baths up to 5 times a week because, you know, I'm tired, I'm stiff. Getting in that warm bath with some Epsom salts feels good. So I use this the most often. I do find it makes a difference. I use 2 cups of Epsom salts in a tub of warm water. I sit in there for about 12 minutes and then I jump in the shower and rinse off. Now, it's important to note some people have had allergic reactions to Epsom salts. So if you've never tried it before and you get in and you're breaking out in hives, rash, anything like that, swelling in the mouth, lips, tongue, tightness of breath or whatever, I shouldn't have to tell you, get out of the tub and rinse off. Okay, now another great thing, if you can afford it, if you have insurance or whatever that covers it, if you're fortunate enough to have good insurance like that, is massage. Massage is great. Deep tissue or athletic massage is what you want to be doing. Once a month, if you can get to a good massage therapist and get all these kinks worked out, that really benefits you. Massage, you know, isn't going to make something better. If you tear a bicep, you know, a massage, it might feel good, but it's not going to cure the problem. If you have mobility issues that's causing injuries, you know, you want to get to the core of that, not go for a massage, but just for relaxing tight muscles, working out knots, increasing blood flow, allowing your body, your joints to move freely. Massage is huge. So once a month for massage, if you can afford it. Closer to a competition or under some real stressful heavy training, if you can, once a week is very beneficial, and you will definitely find it makes a difference to your training and how you're moving. Now, if you can't afford a massage, you can do a lot of self-release techniques with just a little lacrosse ball or a foam roller. I have this extra firm knobby foam roller. You don't need one like that, any regular foam roller I do. Now, lately, it seems like foam rolling has gotten a little bit of a bad rap. And hardcore guys, you know, don't like it. That's, you know, baloney, whatever. That's not going to do nothing for you. Now, I don't think it's all that's cracked up to be. You're not going to work out knots with a foam roller or a lacrosse ball like a good massage therapist will. And you're not going to find those key trigger points like somebody who's trained and experienced will. But I think a lot of the reason foam rolling's got such a bad rap is now you see these guys that go into the gym, take their little travel foam roller out of their bag, roll around for 45 minutes to train for 15. Some guy does friggin' 30 minutes of rolling every body part to squat 185 pounds. That is baloney. But if you take a couple minutes at the end of every day or at the beginning of every day and just whatever particular tight spots you might have that day, you take 5 to 10 minutes to roll them out, huge difference. You know, is something often neglected. People don't want to do it. But if you take the time to do that consistently, it will make a difference. And there's thousands of ways to use a lacrosse ball, self-massage, foam rollers, or whatever. Quick Google search, you can find a million things to do. And it does help if you take a few minutes to do it consistently every day. Now I want to talk about the number one thing for recovery, the one thing that trumps everything, okay? Sleep. Nothing beats good old-fashioned sleep. Now, I'm a shift worker. I work days and nights. I have insomnia anyway, even before I was a shift worker. So I have trouble with it, but I go back through my training logs and I take notes of how I'm sleeping. Periods of time where I'm sleeping good, I'm at my strongest, I'm my most physically fit, I'm the healthiest. There's no doubt about it. Sleep trumps all this stuff. Don't get up 15 minutes earlier to have an Epsom salt bath. Just sleep that extra 15 minutes. Now, if you're like me and you do have trouble sleeping, there are some things you can do. You may have heard the term sleep hygiene. You may have discussed it with your doctor. If you've had problems sleeping, you may have looked it up online. But there's lots of little tips and tricks that you can do, and they do work if you have problems sleeping. First of all, make your room cool, have a comfortable mattress, comfortable pillow, make your room dark. No lights in your room. Now, when you're in bed, don't be watching TV. This is very hard this day and age, but don't be in the bed looking at your phone. Even reading, I try to read to kind of take my mind off things, but you don't want the bedroom to be associated with wakefulness. You don't want to be in bed watching TV, reading, looking at your phone, whatever. The bed is for two things, sleeping and, something else. That's okay, you can do that in bed. But just go to bed to sleep. That's it. Now, if your mind is racing, that's the huge problem I have, lying in bed thinking about things from years ago that aren't important at all. If you find that happens to you, here's a little trick. I've had a real issue with this, and this is what's helped me. Don't lie in bed awake for any longer than 10 minutes. Get up, go sit in a chair in the dark. Doesn't matter if you have to do it 2 o'clock in the morning, doesn't matter if you have to do it a couple times at night, just go sit in a chair in the dark. Don't go sit in a chair and take out your phone. Don't go sit in a chair and turn on the TV. Just sit up out of bed in the dark and relax for 5 to 10 minutes. When you find yourself starting to get drowsy, get back into bed. None of this, lying in bed thinking about 100 things so you get up and look at your phone, or you get up and turn on the TV to try to take your mind off stuff. Just go sit in the dark. Now, there's a couple other things to do. This is also hard for a lot of people. Everybody's hooked on energy drinks and lots of Starbucks coffee and stuff like that this day and age. But if you have problems sleeping, or if you want to get to bed early, no caffeine after noon. It makes a difference. It really does. Caffeine has a half-life. So cut out caffeine in the afternoon. You'll have a much more restful sleep. Okay, guys, I hope all these techniques can help you so you can train harder and keep pushing as you get older and just get better and better. Now, there's one restorative method that's picking up more popularity lately that I don't like. And that's extra workouts. Those workouts where you go and get little tiny weights, 20 to 30 minutes, and do a bunch of reps. So like the day after a bench workout, your chest is sore, you got that delayed onset muscle soreness, you go in, you do a bunch of reps with very light weights for 20 to 30 minutes. And the logic there, the theory is to increase blood flow, just like the Epsom salt baths, contrast showers, ice baths, whatever. It's all about that blood flow, circulation, flushing toxins. Now, I'm not a scientist, I don't do these studies, so that could be true. But to me, I'm thinking, hey, okay, you get sore from training because of micro tears, breaking down muscle. So the last thing I want to do to get better is to break down even more muscle. And even though you may be using these little 8-pound dumbbells, you're still going to be tearing up muscle tissue. So hey, like I said, experiment. You can give it a try. If it works for you, great. I'm not a fan. What I do like to do when I'm really sore and tight after a day of training is a little light cardio. Walking on the treadmill, go for a walk outside, not high intensity stuff, no sprints or intervals, just a brisk walk or a easy bike ride. It relaxes your mind mentally and it just gets you moving. And something like that is not going to tear down muscle, but I do find it helps get everything loose. Now, a huge part of recovery is going to be your nutrition. If you're training hard, you gotta get the macros and micros to cover your bases. You gotta be hydrated. We're not gonna get into that in depth because that's a whole nother video. I've even done a video on nutrition, so you can scroll down through my page and check it out. Okay guys, hope you give these a try, experiment a little, find something that works for you that's going to keep you training hard and recovering ready for the next workout. Thanks for watching. Train with bad intentions. Just want to add, if you do go for a massage, be sure to hydrate afterwards. If at all possible, even take a nap or do it late in the evening so you can go to bed afterwards after hydrating. And don't have a massage on a large training day. Schedule it for an easier training day or an off day.